Hello, welcome to Spy Money. Today we're going to talk about a couple things. What I did today and several members in our group did, and we were scalping today. We scalped a Spy, sold off some Netflix, made some money there. Some people had scalped some Amazon, I think AMD, and a few others that they were doing. So our group actually did fairly well up until Thinkorswim crashed. I was in a scalp and I was watching it, and then all of a sudden I couldn't see it anymore. It locked up. I tried rebooting it and I ended up losing money on that trade. So I ended up, I made money on my first scalp with SPY. I think I don't remember the percentage, 60% maybe. I can't remember. But my first scalp did pretty good on it. I jumped in, rolling through here, and I scalped it down to here. I did a same day expiration. So my expiration today was on 4/13. So I did pretty good on it. Then I got in another scalp when it went up and started coming back down. I hopped in another one, and this is where it crashed. I did not know that we were on a pivot line that I was using, so I couldn't tell, and I thought it was going to go further, and then before you know it, I'm losing money on it. So thank you, TD Ameritrade. That was really good of you. So, but I ended up, I still come out okay on the whole day, but it wasn't what I wanted. I did get in some Walmart today, and those I'm swinging those and some others. So as far as some of you probably noticed I didn't do a market brief this morning. I'm no longer going to do the market briefs in the morning for live YouTube. I'm doing those in our Discord group only. And I think it's fair for them because if I call out the trades, what I think is going to happen in the market, that is actually part of our Discord group. So if you're actually looking to get involved to find out, what we are going to be trading for the day and so forth, we talked about that this morning, looking at the charts, trying to see what we thought it was going to do. And that way all of our members could actually get in on the trades. And then during the day, then we talked about what we were doing and what pivots it was hitting, what fib lines and so forth. So we were helping each other trade all day today. It was actually pretty good, other than the Thinkorswim crashing. So it hurt a bunch of people in our membership today over that. So if you're interested in finding out more about the trades and so forth, you'll have to join our group. And then in the market recap, we're going to talk about what we did and the monies we made and so forth. So there's a link down in the description. It takes you to my website. On there, you can click on a Discord group, and it will take you to the sign-in page to get signed up with that. There's also courses on there that you can visit, and right now I've got a couple courses on there talking about how to trade futures. With futures, there's no PDT, regardless of how much money you have in your account. You have to have enough for margin, depending on the brokerage you have. But there's some other things in there. Just talk about my company, what we do, how we help people. So we're going to talk about ES right now. And ES sold off all day, and then it just started consolidating. Then it took off and come back up. I think that we're probably still going to continue to sell off tomorrow. I know that the government was supposed to pump money in today, and I did not see it initially. I don't think this is Fed money here. I think this is just regular trading. And I had this trend line drawn up for something else I was doing, coming off the top and just seeing a trend coming down. But if we come back and ignore that one, and then we come back, we are actually just above it. And this 2770 is actually a very strong support that we have. So it looks like we're coming right up to it, and we'll probably end up selling off tonight on it. That's my guess. Our MACD is coming down. The RSI is almost at the top, so I think by the time we get up there, the RSI may be up there to actually kick down on it. So ES, I'm bearish on it. I have went over. I posted it in our Facebook and other things. But if you look at this, if you go to a daily, let's go to a daily. You can see it better. Daily, we have our 50 EMA right here, and we're right there. We also have our 50% retracement. So when we come down, we bounce up. Usually we'll come up 50% and then bounce back down. We are just above it, so a 50% is not necessarily the line. It's going to be a little bit above or a little bit below. It's right through here. So we are there, and we should be selling off. And if we look at this closer, here's your 50%, and I can actually, that's the one I just put in there. I keep that line in. But here's your 50%. This is one of the double tops coming off over here. You can't see it on this one, but on the lower time frame you can. And it looks like we're actually coming down. We're actually at the top right here now, which is 27.67 or so. Yeah, right there. But I believe that this is going to continue to sell off tomorrow. I don't think that we're going to go up anymore on this, so I'm looking for a downturn. I'm hoping that the government will stay out of this and let the stocks do what they should do, and that's sell off. We're in a bear flag right now. So we got the bear flag, we're at the 50, we're at the 50 EMA, and we're also at the 50% retracement. We've also got divergence, so I deleted that line today, but let's see, we do from here all the way to there. So this line is coming down, so it's lower here than it is here. So when you're coming down and you're going up, that is called divergence. And with divergence, when you have that, is a sign of reversal. So if we're going up and we have a divergence, then that is a sign to come down. Also, our MACD looks like it's starting to try to curl. We got a darker green right there. So by having that darker green right here, then that's a sign of it actually kind of pulling back and starting to turn to come back down. Also, this line here, if we go back, you can't see it on this one, but if you go back, I mean, you can see that we are never that high on MACD other than right here. We are never that high at all. Look where we are now. We are so far over bought, it's not funny. There's no way that this can keep going the direction that it's going. Well, I guess it could if you have more monopoly money, but for the most part, this is not going to happen. Now, let's get political. If we get political on this and we start watching the news, we start listening to not just one-sided news, but if you listen to a bunch of different ones, you will find out that there's a lot of stuff starting to come out. A lot of this stuff is on Trump. I've always been a Trump supporter, but I can't say that I am right now. I think I've caught him up in a bunch of lies that he's saying on this coronavirus. I'm starting to catch a lot of things on this, more stuff than I'll even divulge on here. But there's a lot of things that the sheep are allowing them to be fed, and I'm not a sheep. Definitely not a sheep. So you can do your own research on that. But there's a lot of things political going on right now, and I think it's going to come out here in the next few weeks. One thing going on is the governor Cuomo. He is, if I said that right, he is really kind of the leader in talking about the coronavirus on the news and so forth. And he's got most of the governors that are actually allowing him to be the leader. So you watch and see that Cuomo is going to be running for president. You watch. You heard it here first. He will be running for president. There's no doubt in my mind. He has the majority of the governors backing him. And I think with that going on and what he's saying about the coronavirus, he does not want to open up the economy for business yet. He wants to hold it off. They're talking 6 to 8 weeks that they would like to go ahead and leave this shut down to make sure that the virus and everything is going to be fine. Whether you believe in everything going on or not, that's what they're trying to do. And personally, I'm kind of thinking the same thing. They need to leave it shut down a while. I'm in South Carolina. We were scheduled to open on April 12th. They just changed it, added 15 days. Now it's the 27th, so it'll be the 28th before we can open. There's a lot of states that are just now starting to get the effects of the coronavirus. So, and the hospitals are empty. They're talking about how they don't have enough beds and this and that. The majority of the hospitals are furloughing people. There's a lot of people without jobs. There's no way that this market can keep going the way it is right now. And the news is about to hit, talking about with what Trump is doing and so forth. So this is all coming down. This is a facade right here. So if you have if you do long-term puts, I'm sure you'll be fine. But that's where we are with it. Let's go to gold. Let's talk about gold for a while. We had this symmetrical triangle, which is a pennant. Basically, it's a pennant, and we actually broke out of that. Gold is actually doing what it should have been doing all along, and that's rallying. Gold ought to be over 2,000. There's no reason in the world that gold should be as cheap as it is, because our market's in a shamble. Gold should be going through the roof right now. Now, all along, gold was actually going with ES. Now it's not. Now it's going up, and it broke through this pennant. Now that it broke through the pennant, it's going to take off, I'm sure. I don't see gold coming back down. Maybe so, but I don't see it will. Now, down here you have divergence as well. So you have this one right here. Let's see here if we back it up. I'm on the wrong one. Right here, let's see, we can go to a daily. Maybe it's on a daily. I've got it drawn out. No, I got it drawn somewhere. I might have changed this on that lower time frame. Well, I had this drawn out to where we could see it better, and I don't know what time frame I was on. So let's go back to a 4 hour, and then we'll just redo that drawing there. Let's see if I have it there. Okay, so right there. Now this one shot up above, but going from here, coming down, this is showing your divergence. And then again here, let's see here, this one's not really showing. I wish I knew what time frame I had that on. This one's not showing any divergence at all. If anything, that's actually going with it. But you do have divergence here. Divergence meaning the indicator's going the opposite way. That's a sign of reversal. I personally don't think the way this one popped out and stuff, and with having that pennant and it's popped out and being based on the market, I think gold's actually starting to do what it should do, and that's go up. And I hate that, because that's going to cost me some money there, because I was playing it based on it operating with the ES market. So those two, Walmart, I got in some more calls today. Rolling through here, I'm green on my calls, so I'm hoping that Walmart will actually go ahead and take off. By looking at the MACD down here, it's showing the crossover and going up, and I feel that let's go back here to 1 hour daily. Okay, we're in a ascending, broadening wedge pattern, so it's skinny here, wide there. I believe that we're actually going up to rolling through here. I hope we do, and if we do, that could easily happen tomorrow. So that's around 131, 132, somewhere on through there. I think it's where we'll end up being, and if we get there, then that's a lot more money for me. So Walmart, I'm pretty bullish on right now, and it's actually running against what the market was running, which is how it had been doing. Look at Tesla. Tesla was actually taking off today. It actually did really well. Anybody in Tesla calls? You did real well today. It's just been going. I don't even know what the news is on Tesla. Look at Microsoft. Microsoft, I'm kind of back and forth with it. It rallied at the end of the day, so I'm not really sure what it's going to do. But I mean, I thought I was going to be a little bearish on it. So I'm not convinced that this is going to be. And if you look, you got a trend line. If we start there, come down. So we actually broke that trend after hours. So Microsoft may take off on it. We'll see. I know some men in our group bought calls on it today, and I was a little puzzled why he did. He gave a good explanation why he did, and it looks like he's actually going to do really well, which I'm glad. Google is taking off. I've got Google calls, so I'm happy about that. I like to see it take off. And MasterCard, I thought would actually be a lot higher than what it is right now. And we have a, if we look here to 1 hour, we have a ascending wedge pattern. So it's wide here, skinny up here. And by having the ascending wedge, this looks like it should drop out, but I would think it'd go up because everybody's using their credit cards right now. So we'll have to see. Yeah, John, I wish I'd bought Roku too. We talked about it this morning. But I never thought it would do what it did, especially after hours. I mean, look at that. Boom. I don't know why it went up. I didn't see news on it. Look at that. Went up to 109 from the start, today. From 92 to 109. That was a good one if you'd had calls on it. SPY is climbing right now. Everything's going up. So I guess the feds are actually pumping the money in now. So they must have started. I don't think any of this right here was Fed money. They must have done it right after hours. That's when they pumped it in. So I know they were supposed to pump in money today, but I hadn't seen it all day. So they just let it sell off and let everybody make their profits, and then it took off. Look at Target. Targets are really not doing that great. Walmart we looked at. So it didn't really sell off like sometimes it does after hours. Of course, it'll sell off and then come back up, but I don't see that. TLT sold off. I almost got into puts on that today. I thought about calls and I thought about puts, and with them pumping money into it, I come a hair buying puts on it, and I wish I would have now. Look at BA. Sold off hard and continued to sell off. Now, normally, BA will take off with the market, and it's not doing it. Guidance, John, I don't know what you mean by guidance. I'm assuming you're talking about Roku, but I don't know what that means. Amazon took off today. I'd sold my calls on that probably 2 weeks ago. Man, it'd been nice to have them now. I sold them back over in here, but man, if I'd have kept them, it's actually doing exactly what I thought it would be doing. This spiked because they were hiring people. And look at it. It is right back to where it was before the market dropped. So it's there already. Disney still way down. Disney's not doing that great. And look at AMD. AMD took off too. Usually when Roku does, AMD does as well. AMD's actually been kind of pumping for a while. And this one, someone on our Discord caught this. There's a head and shoulder, inverse head and shoulders. Here's your shoulder, here's your head, here's your shoulder, boom. So that's actually a good call out. And let's see what else we can find here. Let's look at Uber. Uber's in this ascending triangle. So this right here should kind of play out. Maybe not tomorrow, but probably on Wednesday or Thursday, this should take off. So Uber should be pretty good in a few days. Visa, didn't look at that one. It actually sold off all day, but it's not moving the way the market's moving. I'm actually shocked the credit card companies I would think would go more. Now, one thing you have to remember is our banks are coming up. Let's see if I can find Chase. And the reason I'm going to find Chase is because, which one is it? I don't know which one. There, that one. So Chase is actually hurting. The banks are hurting right now. Someone posted a picture in our group showing how the funds inside the banks have dropped drastically. People are pulling their money out. I guess they got scared over everything, so they just went and pulled a bunch of money out. Now, the one thing about Chase Bank is over the weekend, they decided that from now on, any loans that they do, you're going to have 20% down, and you're going to have a 700 credit score or better. Well, that's going to wipe out a lot of people, especially after all the jobs and everything that have kind of gone away. That's going to hurt a bunch. So with them hurting, the people, their credit's going to go down. Foreclosures are going to happen. And then we're going to be worse than 2008 all over again. Trump keeps on touting the economy and this and that, but it's all smoke and mirrors. The economy is in a crapper right now. Why in the world our market is moving the way it is, I have no idea. There's no rhyme or reason for this right here. We should not be doing this right here. We should be continuing to go down. And I can understand little pullbacks. If we had come up here and then sold off, yes. And that's what I expected here as well. We started playing the puts right there. and we ended up getting caught in it in the I guess it'd be a bear trap, really, is what we got caught in, because it ended up taking bullish. And then it started pulling back here, but all through here was a lot of consolidation. It hurt a lot of people's calls and puts as well, hurt them both. So then it pulled down here. Then whoever got in calls right in here made some money. So I got in calls on some things, I puts on some others. So all in all, the account's not looking that great. I wish that I would have just stayed cash and done scalping all the way through here. I'd been better off. But I thought that the economy was actually going to, based on everything that's going on in the economy, all the cities and states are shut down. There's no reason for this right here. This is just fictitious. So that's where we are for today. Like I said, if you want to get in the Discord group, you'll learn more about what we're doing in the mornings, and that will help you trade. You should be able to make more than what your membership is in your first trade, just based off of one call out in our Discord. So that should help you out a bunch. And check out our website. Just put it up over the weekend. I'm still working on a few things, but for the most part it's done. And take a look at it, see what you think, and pick up a course, help you out with the futures and so forth. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Please like, share, and subscribe. And my Discord members, I'll see you in the chat. Have a good night.